you have the power and agency right now to make any change, and the changes are incremental and exponential. And so please be that mother, if it's a woman with ovaries, a person with ovaries, like right now, saying, not on my watch, not in my body. We're changing this now. It is gut wrenching and heartbreaking to see the struggles of these are all, women, people who identify as women, and what they've gone through in not knowing. It was, if the lament is, and this is the lament when people come into my clinic as well, if I only knew. So this is not just us gabbing. This is us conveying some really important information so that you're not in that position.
Mm-hmm.
A research report that showed microplastics in the follicular fluid of women's ovaries. That's where the eggs are growing. And so if that ovum is growing in microplastics, and then if that embryo is growing in a uterine cavity where potentially has 4 times the toxic burden of mother's blood, what are we doing here?
I had a little boy who I had done all the right things to give him good gut health, or so I thought, and I didn't realize that my toxin burden became his toxin burden.
Yes.
And so a big reason why I'm so passionate about toxin exposures and accumulations over the course of our lives is so that we are not transferring these things to our children.
I mean, I'll share my bullhorn with you, because my hue and cry is that you don't want a positive pregnancy test. You want a healthy baby and a healthy family, and you are growing the next generation of healthy leaders. So they need to have their full health that will include their brain health.
And what we know about a lot of toxins that we ultimately come in contact with is that they are lipophilic, meaning that they are stored in fat cells in the body. And this is particularly important when we think about women's health, because women inherently do have more adipose tissue or fat cells on their body, as they should. And so we know that they are at a greater susceptibility to having essentially storing tanks for these type of toxins, which then can impact things like ovarian reserves, hormonal imbalances, and then a whole other host of things like gut health and nutrient depletions and immune function and inflammation. Absolutely. This is a great question, because I think a lot of times in the conception community, everybody wants to be pregnant yesterday.
Yeah.
And there's a big rush on things. And so ideally, couples who have 6 to 12 months in that preconception phase before they would actively like to be pregnant is really the best timeline. Over the course of a year doing this detoxification work, she saw her AMH go from 1.6 all the way to 3.3.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's
So
beautiful.
she effectively doubled it over the course of a year. So now she's in a much better place in terms of improving her fertile capacity. Now, we have seen many couples get pregnant somewhere in the ballpark of like 3 to 4 months, like right in the middle of doing detoxification work. It doesn't take a whole lot of taking that burden off of the body and creating more safety for conception for it to occur. But ultimately, we really do, in order to be comprehensive and make sure that we get things in a good place, and retesting can be incredibly helpful at the end of 6 months to reassess levels and see if there is additional needs. Not uncommon that we see those levels go down significantly.
And how great does that feel? By the time when you get that second test and you kind of want to, run out in the street and show it to everybody because you're feeling so much better, and your labs show that, it's worth the effort that you've put in for the duration of time that you put in the effort. Hey there, thanks for joining the conversation at Health University, where we're committed to making ourselves just a little bit smarter about our whole health and our reproductive health. Make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell so you don't miss a future episode. Leave a comment below, especially if there's a topic you want to learn about. We're happy to know and to include that in our episodes. And since 1 in 5 people are determined to be struggling with fertility, share this with 5 people. You're bound to help at least one change the course of their fertility struggles and help realize their dream of family. We value your time, and we keep these recordings as succinct as possible. But if you want to listen to the full episode, just click below and the entire episode is there at your disposal. Once again, thanks for joining us at Health University.